Hi everyone, welcome to Lola's Frugal Life. This is episode number 327, and this is going to be another one of my mini summer series episodes. Today I'm going to be talking about adjusting your schedule for the seasons. So please stick around for a few quick words from our sponsor and we'll get right into the show. Okay, so before I start, kind of a funny thing. I was just outside and recorded almost the entire episode because I thought it would be really nice to record outside. And I actually read, because I looked it up, can you record your podcast outside? And I read that it's actually good. The sound is good. It's nice to record outside. I don't know. I don't really know much technically about sound and recording, but I thought, oh, that sounds so nice and it's beautiful out today. And I was like, let me go out there and I'll just sit outside and I'll record the episode. And it was so loud between birds chirping and crickets. Well, maybe they weren't crickets. I think there was like cicadas. I don't know. There was just so much sounds. I was like, this is just not going to sound good. So I recorded almost the whole episode before I decided to say, I just don't know how this is going to work out. I'm not trying this today. But anyway, it was only one of these quick summer episodes anyway, so it wasn't like I took a whole lot of time. So what I wanted to talk about in today's episode is kind of adjusting your expectations of what you can get done depending on the season that you're in. So like, for example, I have been going outside every morning and watering my plants. I have some like flowers that I have growing in containers that I planted that I had grown from seeds, and I have some cherry tomatoes and some regular tomatoes and some hanging baskets around my pergola and just a lot of things that need to be watered. I have some hostas and hydrangeas planted in the ground and some grasses and whatever. So it takes me like a good 20 to 25 minutes to go out there and water the plants. And I did at one point have some of it set up to automatically water, but I just didn't get around to doing that this year. So, and I enjoy going out first thing in the morning and just being outside and watering the plants. And a lot of times there's like deer in my backyard, like behind the fence, and it's just nice to be out there. I let the dogs out in the morning while I'm watering. So whatever, I enjoy it. I'm not necessarily looking to cut back on that time, but it does take like a good 20 to 25 minutes. And it had been bothering me that I wasn't getting done all the things that I used to get done in the morning, like maybe doing a little work on some podcast things, like, I don't know, maybe creating like the images for my new episodes, or, writing some notes for upcoming episodes, what topics I wanted to talk about, whatever. And then updating my checking, updating my credit card balances, things like that. I just kept thinking, I used to always get these things done. Why am I not getting them done anymore? I feel like I'm falling behind. And then I thought, well, okay, because I wasn't spending 20 to 25 minutes every morning watering plants like I am right now. Like, that's almost a half an hour that I took away from that time when I was doing those other tasks in the morning, and it never really clicked. I just kept stressing over, like, how come I used to be able to get this stuff done and now I can't? And then it was just like so obvious. I'm like, well, of course I can't, because I'm doing this other thing now. I'm watering the plants every morning and I enjoy doing that, so I want to keep doing that. So it made me think, you really kind of have to think about what's going on and what's changing as the seasons change, and adjust your expectations of what you can do and when you can do it. It might mean you have to cut back a little bit on something, like maybe, like for example, with the podcast, how I'm doing these mini episodes in the summer. Well, I cut back a little bit. I wanted to keep going. I didn't want to stop the podcast during the summer, but I decided to do these mini episodes and then cut back on the blog posts and just do blog posts for the meal plans and do my topic episodes that are a little bit longer topics, and where I wanted to share the notes on the blog. Start them up in the fall again. It's just adjusting for the season. Again, when back to school starts, maybe all of a sudden your kids are going to have a lot more activities than they had in the summer, and maybe that means you need to adjust the type of meals you're cooking, or when you're grocery shopping, or when you're meal prepping or planning, or whatever it is that you do. As each season changes, a lot of times the things that we have to do on a daily basis or weekly basis can change, and it's important. Why am I speaking weird? It's important to take that into consideration and not expect that we can just do all of the things all year long. We have to adjust to what's going on in our lives, and sometimes there's busier times where we have to cut back on other things, and sometimes there's some little bit slower times where we can get more of those things done. So I just wanted to kind of share that, because it just kind of was bothering me for a while, and I wasn't getting those other things done in the morning, and I never even considered that I had added almost a whole nother half hour's worth of things that I was doing by watering the plants in the morning, that of course I couldn't possibly do those other things too, because I have a cutoff. Like, I do these things before work, so it's not like I could just, okay, well, let me go an extra half hour. No, I have to start work. So there's only a limited amount of time to do that stuff in the morning. So, that's all. I just wanted to make, I think it's important to just kind of consider what's going on in our lives right now, what has changed, and how does that impact what we can do and when we can do it. And be flexible with yourself and figure out if it's something that's really important, another time that you can do it instead of when you were doing it, or consider if it's something that you can maybe just cut out for the season. So that's it for today's mini episode. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you here next week. So thank you for checking in for this podcast episode. And don't forget, you can always email me with any questions or suggestions at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Lola's Frugal Life. And you can find a blog post for most of my episodes, and definitely all of my meal plan episodes, at lolasfrugallife.com. You can also join our private listeners group at facebook.com/groups/lolasfrugallife. And if you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen from. And I would love it if you would screenshot the show and tag me on Instagram so I could see you're listening. Also, if you can please take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast. Those ratings and reviews are what help the show come up better in search results so that other people can find this podcast. So that will really help me in growing my audience. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day. Hello, so you've made it all the way to the very, very end of this episode. I just want to say thank you one more time for listening, and don't forget, you can always go to my website at lolasfrugallife.com, where you can find all the ways you can reach me, all the blog posts for the episodes, and any other information you might be looking for related to Lola's Frugal Life. So thanks again for listening, and have a great day.